not that much steam behind his regime, and it is decreasing every single day, dude. And like the fact that like these lives are centered around an invitation for any and all Trump supporters to come up here and
Dean,
debate.
leave my sister alone. Leave my sister alone.
Leave your
What?
sister alone. What?
Stop sending her nudes, please. Leave my sister alone.
I'm not sending your sister nudes. I swear.
Free my sister. Free my sister.
I would heavily implore you to like look into like alternative solutions of who may be sending your sister nudes, because it's certainly not me, man. I'll tell you that much. What's up, Paula? How old are you?
What the hell just happened, dude?
I have no clue. I mean, I hope he finds who's sending his sister nudes. I do. It's like, you know, I'd explore other options. You got the wrong guy, pal. Hello, Paula. Do you support Trump? And Paula left. We're going to go to move on to the next guest.
Let me say thank you to two people. Ermina, thank you so much for the $6. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Jessica, thank you for the $3.47. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, Fireball.
And Jules, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you a Trump supporter, Fireball?
Don't worry. They can't. They're on the app. You have to be inside the app for us to be able to. Oh, they left.
Bruh.
If you're on YouTube, do make sure to like the stream. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Holy shit, there's 3.6 million likes.
That's a lot of likes.
That is a lot of likes. When something's happening with the algorithm, it's probably because you have the ability to go on your main and do this.
Do you know that the DNC Dean account got permanently banned last night?
Are you serious?
Yeah, perfect timing. Like, if it was going to happen, that was a perfect time for it to happen. But really unfortunate.
Dude, I was going to ask Loki if I could use it, bro.
Yeah, I would let you, but it's toasted. It's permed. If I get it back, I'll happily let you use it.
Yeah, I have to use my girlfriend's account in order to do TikTok Live Studio.
Damn, bro. Yeah, I would happily let you use that. What's up, Nikki? Do you support Trump?
No. But
you requested for why? Oh. Oh no. Oh no. What are we doing, chat? What are we
We're having
doing?
fun, you know what I mean?
Are
We're
we?
having fun.
Are we? Is this fun?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Got SpongeBob SquarePants down here.
If you were a SpongeBob SquarePants character, which one would you be?
Patrick. Be Patrick.
Oh my God, I love y'all so much. Wait, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear you before.
You're good, don't worry. So you think you'd be Patrick?
I'd be Patrick. SpongeBob.
Who do you think I would be?
Definitely SpongeBob. 110%. Are you kidding?
Okay, I'm ready, chat.
Yeah.
And someone said you were Mr. Krabs.
Many.
Someone said you were Mr. Krabs.
Oh, this.
Many. Someone said you were Mr. Krabs.
Here's an echo. Yeah, according to that last guest, it was calling me a grifter. Definitely, yeah, Mr. Krabs. Oh man, trying to find a single Trump supporter. What a journey we are on right now, just to find one person. Jackson, were you born in 2009?
Someone said I'm Gary vibes.
No, bro, I'm not.
What year were you born in?
05.
What's your age?
17.
Mermaid man.
Alright.
Okay.
Loki Dean is Squidward.
Is this just like? Is there like any Trump supporters in here? Like, can we try to figure that one out? Is there any at all? Hey, how old are you?
19.
Yeah, buddy. Okay. Is there any Trump supporters in here? Go ahead. Okay, all the liberals, just for a second. Stop commenting. And if you are American, at least 18, and support Trump and ready and willing to debate, say, I support Trump in the chat. So liberals, stop commenting. Trump supporters, if you're American and at least 18, say, I support Trump in the chat, okay? All right. Maybe this is the new meta. Maybe this
Roxy,
is...
go ahead. Roxy, thank you for the £5. Johnny, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And listen to the debate about conjoined.
Hello.
That's so funny, Johnny. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, how do you?
As well as Sid with the $100. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 19.
19?
I got you, Sid.
Yeah, for sure. What time is it?
What's good?
What's that? Yeah, what time is it, Ollie?
6.
6. Phenomenal. And you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, chat, you could go back to all the liberals. You could get back to hanging out. Go ahead. All right, Ollie, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
I just think his political reasons are
Ooh,
right.
I hear British accent. What state are you in?
What's that?
Yeah.
Minnesota.
What's the
What time is it?
What's the...
6.
It's not 6.
Hello, C. So you were saying that you support Trump in the chat. How old are you?
Cookie King mugs you because he's not bald.
I'm not bald
That's so brutal. That's so brutal.
Okay.
Sid, thank you for the $100. Thank you.
Okay, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm super close to a crash out. I tell
Crash out.
all the liberals to stop commenting, and I say specifically, type "I support Trump" if you're at least 18 from America and ready and willing to come up here and debate. I'm doing everything in my power to find us a debate. There's no one here. There is nobody here that supports Trump. This is a room of 8.3 thousand liberals. So W you guys. But this is a room
We're winning, chat. We're winning.
of
Hermina, thank you for the $2. Thank you.
8,300 liberals. That was another one of the people that was saying that they support Trump in the chat.
Omar, thank you for the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Omar. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Give me some W's for Omar in the comment section right now.
Dude.
Thank you so much.
Dude, okay.
I really appreciate it.
I'm gonna put you to work, Parker. You gotta help me get a guest.
Oh no, I'm getting put to work, chat. Let me say thank you to one more person and then I have to go to work. Laura, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much on PayPal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No, okay. All right, okay.
Maybe
all right,
one day we'll do that.
I'm putting you to work. Help me get a guest up
All
here.
right. I need one more person. Mohammed, thank you for the $10.83. Thank you so much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
over
Mohammed.
here losing my mind trying to get the debate going.
I got you. I'm back on.
Sitting back. Dude, sitting back, coasting. Just hanging
I'm
out.
posting, chat. What? That's what we're doing, chat.
Help me out here,
Look at
Parker.
this. Look, we got a guest.
Yo, hello.
What's
Yo,
going
what's up,
on?
how old are you?
Whoa, jinx.
Yo, I don't want to make you guys mad, but like, I just want to say thank you. You guys are helping America so much right now.
Hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming up on the live.
I really
We are just looking for
appreciate
people who did vote for Donald Trump right now. Only send a guest request if you did vote for Donald Trump.
It's
Again, we are just looking
arbitrary.
for some debates.
I'm gonna sit back. You know, Parker, your shift has started, buddy. Clock in. In the meantime,
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, I just want to say I love you, man. Love you. I love you.
Hey, I appreciate you.
I
Thank
love
you so much. Thank you. Yep. Well, give us some music. Like, that's what we want to hear. Let's see how long it takes, chat. Louder, Dean. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
they're not even loaded in yet.
Hello? Colleen? All right, here, let's go, everyone. We're going to get a guest. I can tell you that. I promise you. Very soon, tremendously. Quick times, I tell you. Give it 1 second, I promise. Okay. Do you support Donald Trump?
Fuck no, Parker.
Oh, wait, I know you are. You do not support Donald Trump. All right, let's go to the next person. Yo, what's up, Christopher? How old are you?
I am 29. How are you guys?
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did.
All right, why so?
Mainly two reasons. Just a strong border, and I am pro-life.
Okay. Strong border. Okay, so can you give me one policy Donald Trump influenced to get passed that was good for the border?
Honestly, I don't know much about policies, man. I just know that he ran on a strong border, and I know that he ran on pro-life. So that's mainly why I hopped on here and just wanted to share. That's why I voted.
Okay. I have a question. Do you think that COVID vaccine should have been mandated?
No, I think it should be everybody. You could get me right here. I do think it should be everybody's choice to do that.
Even though it leads to a greater level of deaths?
You mean like not getting the COVID vaccine?
Yeah, not having the COVID vaccine be mandated during the pandemic.
Well, I mean, wasn't the pandemic or the people who like you were okay basically, like if you didn't get the shot or not, because The
But I'm just
COVID
saying,
vaccine
I'm just
wasn't
saying, if
gonna-
you got the vaccine, it reduces the likelihood as a society, if more people get vaccinated, that there'll be less deaths. So,
If-
like that's the point. So, here, the point that I'm making is that you're willing to restrict bodily autonomy to save human life when it comes to abortion, but you're not willing to restrict bodily autonomy to save human life when it comes to the COVID vaccine during the pandemic.
I mean, you kind of. I mean, here's my thing. I'm gonna give you a twofold, and you're probably not gonna like my answer. I'm a believer in Jesus, right? I'm a Christian, and I recently saw your video on Jubilee where it originally was Christians talk to, or 28 theists to Jordan Peterson, or 28 theists to Christians. But here's my belief. I think that the human life is valued at the beginning of conception. But I also understand that as an American, every single person has that right.
Yeah, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Man.
you think it should be legal?
See, that's my dilemma. That literally is my dilemma, because as a believer, as someone who believes in, protecting all human life, I also know that I can't force that belief onto everybody. But at the same time, if I am pro-life and someone is going to be pro-life, I'm going to vote for the person to be pro-life at the end of the day.
That's going to be so you do want to enforce that particular moral belief onto everyone else.
When it comes to pro-life, yes.
Okay. All right. So then, do you think that women should go to prison for getting abortions?
I've never thought about that. Why would you ask me a question?
If you think it's murder, well, then why don't you think that murderers should go to prison?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't think that they should go to prison because I think some women are manipulated into doing it. I think some women are forced into doing it. I've heard of many cases where women are forced to get abortions, and that's wrong altogether.
Forcing someone against their will to get an abortion is wrong because it should be their choice.
Yeah, and again, that's what I'm saying. As a believer, I value all human life.
Can I ask you a question?
Human life, but at the same time, I think that people do have a choice at the end of the day. Yeah, sorry, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. What denomination are you?
I was raised Baptist.
So non-denominational?
Well, I would still say I lean towards Baptist, but I go to a Baptist church, but I also dabble in some Pentecostal teachings, and
okay.
for the most part, Protestant. Just say Protestant.
Okay, Protestant. So, I mean, do you agree with like the teachings of the New Testament of the Bible, where basically all sins fall short of the glory of God, all sins are identical in the eyes of God?
Yeah, that's Romans.
That is Romans. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, should it be illegal for me to lie to my child and tell them that Santa Claus exists?
I don't think it's illegal. I don't know what you're getting at there.
So do you think it should be?
Do I think it's wrong to let a child fantasize about?
I'm not asking you if it's wrong to lie. I'm asking you if it should be illegal for me to lie to my children and tell them that Santa Claus exists.
No, I don't think that should be illegal for you to tell a lie.
So then why should it be illegal for a woman to get an abortion if both of those two sins are viewed identically in the eyes of your moral standard, which is God?
Well, in that, I guess, example you're giving, one is, you're telling a kid that Santa Claus is real, and one is you're unaliving a kid.
Yeah. However, in the eyes of your moral standard, you just admitted that these two things are seen identically. You agreed.
Yeah, all sin is sin. I'm not saying that okay, so someone in the Protestant church would tell you that. I just
want to clarify. I'm talking to you, and you did affirm that you indeed do agree with Romans when it says that all sins are identical in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy. So this means
no, that's not Romans. The quote in Romans I think you're referring to is that all have fallen short of the glory of God.
So you affirm that you do think that all sins are equal in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy. Do you now reject that?
What I'm saying is,
I'm just asking you whether you affirm or reject that.
Yeah, all sins in the eyes of God is sin, but there are different levels of consequences here and afterwards.
Okay, so I just need you to affirm or reject if all sins are identical in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy.
I mean, then yes. I mean, all sin is sin.
Oh, okay, so you do affirm that. So the sin of abortion is identical to the sin of lying in the eyes of God, which is your perfect divine moral standard. So if these two sins are identical, how would we be able to make a distinguishment insofar as deeming one ought be legal and deeming the other ought be illegal? if we're going to be operating the legislation off of your moral standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you would go. I mean, have you ever read the Mosaic Law? Do you know about all 613 laws that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Mosaic Law, but obviously you don't really take much away from Mosaic Law. Like, for instance, Mosaic Law says that an Israelite can enslave a non-Israelite as human property for life.
Well, this is the point I'm getting at. Is all 613? Some are more drastic, some are less drastic. But if you broke one, you broke them all. So same thing in the eyes of sin. You know, there's a white lie sin, and then there's a murder sin. All sin
But
is sin
those
to
sins
God.
are equal in the eyes of God. What is your moral standard? What is your
What I'm
standard
saying
for
is all
determining the
sins-
morality of an action?
All sin separates you from God.
What
All-
is your
all
standard
sin-
for determining the morality of an action?
Break that down for me.
What is your moral standard?
My moral standard is God.
God. God sees the sin of abortion identical to the sin of lying. Correct?
All sin is sin. So yes.
Correct. So those two sins are identically wrong. Correct?
Yes. Is smoking weed illegal?
So then I want you to go. Oh, got a stray. That was a crazy stray he just caught.
Get a ban?
No, he said WEUD.
That's rough.
Damn. Honestly, sometimes the strays just happen. If you're curious, you can't say the names of any like DRUGS on TikTok. They crack down heavily. I couldn't tell you why, they just do. And sometimes people just catch a stray like that guy out of the coin. Thank you for the lover's box. Wasn't his fault that he got kicked at all, because that is an insane fact of TikTok's TOS. What's up, Reed? Do you support Trump?
Nah, can you go on other people's live streams to debate them, maybe?
I actually do that every so often. It's pretty fun. Just make
You
sure
gotta record it.
Make sure that you follow me with my push notifications on. Because if you do, then you'll get a notification that I'm live, and that would include going live on like other people's streams to dunk on them. Yeah, I do kind of like bounce in between some of the Trump supporters' lives at some points, just to kind of like keep them down. You know what I mean? A little bit. You know, I don't know. Beat them in a debate. Maybe they leave the app. I don't know. Right? What's up, Luke? Do you support Trump?
Yeah. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I wouldn't. No, I didn't vote Trump, but I have family members that do support Trump, and I've always no, but I.
Moving on to the next guest ever. Moving on to the next guest. Let's see, Andrew. Thank you so much for the $5 over at Venmo. Shout out Andrew, as well as Allison. Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo as well. Shout out Andrew and Allison, as well as Muhammad with the $11 on PayPal, and Amora with the $25 on PayPal. Saying I mugged the fuck out of Cookie King. Yo, let's go, Amora. That's a fact if I've ever heard one. Thank you so much for the love. Who's the next Trump supporter? Man, I might even just end my live a little early today.
Really? How long have you been on?
3.5 hours. So I mean, it
Hey,
wasn't
big guy, how you doing?
What's up, overnights? Are you MAGA?
I can't vote in U.S., but I support a few of the things that he's for.
Are you a citizen?
No, permanent resident.
Permanent resident? That's fine. Okay. So you do support Trump?
Yes, sir. Not. I wouldn't say support, but I support some of the ideas. Yeah.
So you wouldn't say like? Do you think that Trump is a better president today than Kamala Harris would have been if she had one?
I don't know. I couldn't say that, but I would say I think.
I'm not gonna lie. Like agnosticism on that is crazy. So I think you're in the right place. Tell us what about Trump you support.
I think the border. You know, it is a problem. I don't think he has done the best job of taking people out of the country. He promised a lot more, but also, you know.
So, okay, so you agree with mass deportation. So, yeah, can you name one way that undocumented immigrants in America hurt America?
I just think that mass deportation is required just because of, I don't have any statistics to quote. I'm not a statistic bro, but I am someone that, you know, goes to Costco on a Tuesday and is like full of Indian people that like bump into my shoulders. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
Dude.
As long as.
All right. Yeah. So this is just.
So I can't. Wait. Hold on.
This is just like racism.
Give me 1 second. Let me finish
Hey,
what I'm saying.
I have a question. If like some
societal
can I just
differences.
yeah. I'm just gonna ask you something real quick. If you heard an 80-year-old white guy say, "When I go to the grocery store, it's just filled with all them black people bumping into my shoulders," would that be racist?
Maybe depends on the context.
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
No, how about this?
So, for example, I'm saying
I think
the
I think that
Indian
maybe
people,
one second. Sorry.
You know what? You know why I
no,
say the Indian
please
people?
please
Because
allow
that's
me please allow me to finish. I think
okay.
that maybe is a very unfair answer to my question. I think that the answer to my question is yes. Obviously, that's racist because guess what? White people going, when I go out in public, it's filled with black people, caused what? Segregation. Right? So that is obviously racist. However,
Can
that
I
is
finish my
exactly
sentence,
what you're
please?
saying just about Indian individuals, meaning
Yeah,
that is
but
also
it's-
racist.
Can I finish my sentence?
Yeah, for sure. But I guess after you finish your sentence, if you could respond to like a very easy analogy to demonstrate that what you're saying here is racist, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. So the thing that you're saying is that it's because of racism. Do you know if, I'm Indian? You don't know if I'm Indian. What if I'm Indian? Is that okay for me to say now?
No, it's still not
the
okay for
truth-
you to say, but we'd probably just characterize it as something other than racism. Probably
Oh,
just
so the
very extreme
truth
prejudice. Or like,
depends on who says it?
I could debate with you about my conceptions of what racism is and the different ways in which we could use the term. But like, I think before we get onto that, I just want you to be able to recognize that it's obviously like very like wrong, right? To say like, oh,
Okay.
when I go to the grocery
I mean,
store, it's
I
just
agree
filled
that
with
that's
all these
agree.
Indian
Now-
people. I characterize it as racism.
So, as someone that came from another country, I came to this country and I integrated. I understood that this culture is far superior than the culture that I came from
Why do you think that?
Wait,
because it's more successful.
Can you
It's
tell
more
us?
successful
Can you
in
tell us?
every way.
Can you
In
tell
what
us?
way?
Can you
Economically?
just before you start? Can you tell us what American culture is?
Yeah.
Okay. What is American culture?
Being able to win without having to necessarily be the larger. Trying to remember that word in English. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's called.
See, I struggle to define American culture too. I'll give you my definition of American culture as soon as you.
Yeah,
give
but
yours.
I'm trying to finish. I like that you interrupt.
My
It's
bad, bro.
really it's tough. I'm saying, give me 1 second because I'm trying to
Yeah, for
think
sure.
of. I'm translating the words here. Okay,
No
I'm
worries.
trying. So I'm not searching anything up. Just to be fair, I'm trying to figure out the word. It's called corruption. There you go. Sorry about that.
Okay, so
So
American culture. What is it?
Yeah. So we. What did you say?
Tell us what American culture is.
So I said, you are able to be successful without directly playing into the overall corruption. So I personally come from Brazil.
I don't know what that means. Could you describe what? So you're saying
I'm
that
trying
American
to.
culture is the ability to be successful without engaging in corruption. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that means or how that relates
Okay.
to culture.
So that's what
There
I'm-
are countries with more social mobility than the United States, particularly Scandinavian countries, which we would acknowledge have less corruption.
Okay, so what I was trying to continue to say before I was interrupted, I was trying to say that there is a larger percentage of people that can be successful here without having to bribe their way through everything. So I come from Brazil, and in Brazil, we literally, it's like a known thing. You have to bribe for you to become successful. But I come to this country and I understand the culture is completely different. The family dynamics, everything is completely different. But rather than to fight the culture and understand that, oh, my culture is better because I come from this place, I think it is necessary to implement a little bit of my culture into this one. And
Okay,
I mean,
okay. So
very, very little.
I'm going to jump in here. I'm
but-
going to jump in here just because you're kind of rambling. So you're
I'm
telling
not
us-
rambling. Let me finish up. I'll wrap up in a second. Let me just finish up real quick.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just remember that the original question is, what is American culture?
Yeah, so I'm getting back to that. I'm circling back to that. Give me 1 second. So rather than to change this culture, I would rather get this culture and implement it into my life rather than get my Brazilian culture implemented into the American culture. So I think it's pretty clear what American culture is.
Chat, are you guys clear on what American culture is after listening to him speak for 3 minutes? I think the one takeaway that I got from that is you saying that like some level of like social mobility, the ability to like scale in the American economy is going to be culture. I don't think that like economic mobility is like really considered culture anywhere. I guess when I think
Okay,
whoa, you got so mad at me for interrupting you. Don't interrupt me. No. Don't interrupt me after you're gonna get so mad for me, like just talking when you've paused.
I'm not mad,
so
man.
Just
I'm
allow me to
talking
finish
you.
speaking. That'd be great without an interruption.
Sounds good.
So I don't really think that economic mobility is like defined as culture anywhere. But I mean, even if you're defining economic mobility as culture in America, I mean, this just means that America doesn't have the best culture on earth, since there's other countries with more economic mobility. But like seemingly, like you're now agreeing that like economic mobility is not culture. So like, once again, answer the question: what is American culture?
I don't know. I think that's a good question. I do want to read into that question, but
can I answer it?
Yeah, go for it. You and Parker. Is Parker on? I'm new to this whole debate thing, so I'm trying to understand how it works.
Yeah, Parker's here. So I think that American culture is just a melting pot of cultures from all over the globe. Because something special about America is you can move to America and you become an American, right? And America was built on immigration and individuals in America from all over the globe. So when you sit here and you tell me that there's individuals in America that are destroying American culture, that can't coalesce and affirm American culture, well, American culture is a diversity of cultures from all over the globe. So I mean, I don't think that there is such a thing as like coalescing and affirming and residing within American culture, as American culture is built off of different cultures. So like no matter where you are, you move into America, you're automatically engaging in American culture. And I think that's probably like the best way anybody could define what American culture is. And like, this is why I always ask that question of what is American culture. And like, I've asked it to you, you eventually said that you don't know. I've asked the same question to other people. It's because it's like very vague, it's hard to define, and my best guess would be melting pot of global culture. So when you tell me that like you support mass deportation because you're bumping into Indians at the grocery store, so like first
it's
of
just
all,
an example. I think
allow me to finish speaking. So first of all, you could be Indian and you could be an American, Kamala Harris, right? And then second of all, not all undocumented immigrants are Indian. And then third of all, just saying that you want to get Indian people out because they're Indian is racist.
That's tough. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you definitely made that implication because you said that
no, I was trying to finish, but
sorry, with all due respect, I'm definitely going to be confident in the fact that you made that implication because I asked you why you support the removal of people from America, and the first thing that you said was that you don't like bumping into Indian people at the grocery store.
So I didn't say that. You asked me.
You absolutely did say that. You're just totally lying.
Okay, well, I said there's a huge culture difference between where they come from and here.
Oh, so now you do acknowledge that you said it.
Is that what I did, or are you putting words in my mouth?
Is that what I did? Are you serious, dude? The entire chat's saying you did it. Both Dean and I are saying you did it. We can play back the timestamp of you saying it. Stop acting like you didn't.
Okay, so word for word, what did I say, please?
Do you want us to play back the timestamp?
Just say it back to me.
What the fuck do you know about? What the hell do you know about Indian culture?
I know they don't say excuse me. I know for sure they don't do that.
What the fuck? So I just want to clarify that you don't think that Indian people should have the right to be in America because they don't say excuse me? First of all, such like obviously a stereotype like that can just automatically be
an example of what people do.
Obviously, a stereotype like that could be rejected by anybody with more than 30 functioning brain cells. Like, I don't need to explain that. But saying excuse me or not saying excuse me is not cultural.
Like, you know, the same type of bigotry that you're using to say that like people who are Indian shouldn't be allowed to the United States would also be said by people in the United States to restrict anyone else from any other country.
Also, this is just deliberate racism. Like, have you ever heard like a white person go, "Black people are the problem. They all just commit so much crime." Okay, well that's what you're saying. You're saying Indian people are the problem. They can't assimilate to the culture because they don't say excuse me. Yeah, it's the same strain of racism.
Let me know when you're done muting me.
I'm done muting you because I'm done
Okay.
speaking. You were interrupting me. And by the way, people are like saying like Lamau or how ha ha in the
You're
chat because of the example that I used about a racist white man. That wasn't supposed to be funny. Like that was supposed to be like a real life equivalent example of like the shit that he's saying. Okay. I just want to make that point clear. So respond to that point. What's the difference between you saying that there's a problem with the culture of Indian people and they can't assimilate because they don't say excuse me, and the racist white guy saying there's a problem with black people because they all commit so much crime?
I never brought up any black people add on to the conversation.
I know, I did. I did because I'm using this as an analogy to what you're saying. Can you tell me what the difference between these two statements are?
What I was trying to finish saying over and over. So just Indian people is not, the only culture that does not assimilate properly into
So I just want to
American
clarify.
culture.
Can you tell me what the difference between those two statements are? Yes or no?
So you're just going to just keep bulldozering over
I'm just
my
gonna
at a
ask you
time?
to answer the question. Yeah, I will. So do you have an answer?
So let me finish what I was trying to say. Is this a way you win?
I'm not gonna let you
by
finish
muting
unless
and,
you're answering my
forcing me
question.
to like go along your lines, or
Oh, I definitely do hold guests to a standard of engaging in intellectual critique of their own positions, especially when they're harmful and deliberately racist, such as yours. And I find this to be incredibly like typical to do in a debate, like to give pushback against what other people are saying. So please respond to my pushback, like particularly me asking you to give me the
what
difference.
was the question?
Yeah, for sure. What's the difference between a racist white guy saying that black people are the problem because they all commit so much crime and they just can't assimilate into the culture, and you saying that Indian people are the problem because they all just don't say excuse me in the grocery store and they can't assimilate into the culture? What's a relevant distinction between those two statements?
So the relevant distinction between those two statements is that intention. You characterize me as a racist because you assume my intention is, racism, or I feel like I am above them, or I feel like my race is better than their race. So that was racism, right? So you're trying to tell me I'm racist for saying they should assimilate the same way I have?
Hey, chat, has he answered my question?
I think maybe your mic, your headphones not on properly, because I answered the question.
Is
So
the
you're
speaker
telling me-
and the headphones of like 10,000 people not on properly? Because like seemingly
Okay,
like
so-
everybody's on the same page here that you didn't answer my question.
So the difference is you assuming my character and just saying, oh, it's racist.
So I want to clarify. Like my question actually had to do with the difference between two statements. Like nothing about like you, your character, your intentions, etc. I mean, we'll get there, right? But right now, I'm just asking you for the difference between two statements. Statement one being, statement one being, there's a problem with all black people because they all just commit so much crime they can't assimilate into the culture. And statement two being, there's a problem with Indian people because they all just bump into me at the grocery store, they can't assimilate into the culture. What's the difference between those two statements?
I think there's a huge difference between black people and Indian people. Black people,
bro,
you muted yourself, but
dude.
Go
So
for it.
you're gonna tell me the difference between black people and Indian people?
Yeah, black
So
people.
I actually
Indian
didn't.
People are coming here.
So
that's a huge difference.
Didn't ask you for the difference.
If you inside your own house,
I didn't ask you for the difference between black people and Indian
So
people. And then also like even like the differences you pointed out between black people and Indian people are false, but that doesn't matter because I want you to answer the question. So please tell me what the difference between the two statements was, because my question wasn't.
it's
what's the
fine
difference-
to, but you keep muting me.
I'm muting you because you're ever speaking to me. So I'm not asking you what the difference between black people and Indian people is. I'm asking you what the difference between the statement black people suck and can't assimilate into the culture because they commit so much crime, and the statement that Indian people suck because they can't assimilate into the culture and bump into me at the grocery store. Like, what's the difference between those two statements? See how you can't point it out? Can you just concede that there isn't a difference between those two statements?
There's a clear difference. Black people, they are here and they have been here for hundreds of years. Indian people have not in mass. And now they get here and their culture is completely different.
I'm not asking you what the difference between black people and Indian people is. In fact, I
You
just made that
see,
clear. You have like the IQ of a toddler. Yeah, I'm muting you because I'm muting you because you're being.
actively telling you the difference.
I'm muting you because you're answering a question that I didn't ask. Okay? Can you repeat?
You don't
my
like the
question?
answer. That's the truth.
Repeat my question.
I'm not. Look, I'm not a
You
child.
don't even
I'm
know
talking
the
to you
question.
like a
Yes, you are a child. You are absolutely a child. I'm not gonna
What's
lie,
the
bro.
difference between? See, now when I try to talk, then you keep muting me.
Tell me, what's the question I asked you?
So, you said, let me say, make sure I say this correctly. What is the difference between a white guy saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with black people; they cannot assimilate, and that's just not right," and in me saying Indian people are coming here and not assimilating into the culture? What's the difference between the two, right?
Yeah, and also like stereotyping black individuals is just committing so much crime, and Indian individuals is just bumping.
I literally didn't even mention black crime at all. You're the one that did that. So.
Dude, your IQ
But,
is like 30 fucking 5. If you cannot understand what an analogy
dude,
is,
if
I
you
have
literally, you're
very low
so
hopes
slow.
for you.
You literally cannot understand what I'm saying. For example, let's use another example.
I'm sorry. I just think it's ridiculous that you can't understand that it was messed up and fucked up for you to literally say that like you're for mass deportation because people who are Indian, right, hit your shoulders while at the grocery store, right? Like I'm confused. That's what we were saying is like you were trying to make a generalized statement specifically about people who are Indian, right? As a reason as to why you are against immigration.
And then also, like, you're telling me that the difference is that black individuals are already here in America and Indian individuals are coming to America. So basically, what you're saying is that you think Indian individuals are immigrating, black individuals are, like, not immigrating, they're already here. But you didn't say that a difference is that the first statement is racist and the second statement is not a racist. So basically, what you're saying
So
is
I wanted to ask you something.
So basically, what the implication there is that both of those statements are racist, but you only think it's okay to be racist to immigrants?
Is that what I said, or
Yeah, because I asked you for the difference between the statements, and one of the differences that you didn't point out is that, well, one's racist and one's not racist. Okay, so you'd be saying that they're both racist, right?
Be clear, he's muting me this whole time. Just to be clear.
Because you're interrupting me, just to be clear. So do you agree that both of the statements are racist?
No, I
Okay,
actually.
What do you think racism is? Can you define racism?
Yeah, finding yourself to be superior to another race, to someone else based on race.
So no,
Is
that's not the essential definition of racism. So the essential definition, I guess, working definition of
Go for
racism
it.
that we could
Go
use,
for it.
the working definition of racism that we could use for this conversation, because in all reality, it's a very complex subject. But let's kind of just boil it down to like one or two sentences here. Is like targeted discrimination against an individual or group of individuals predicated on the basis of their race, right? So that's racism. And this is why it's like racist to say that there's a problem with black people because they can't assimilate to the culture, because they're committing all this crime. First of all, this is racist because the targeted discrimination would be specifically to black individuals. B, the discrimination would include stereotypes such as being more prone to commit crimes. And C, also like peddling the stereotype that there's a problem with the culture in which would exist inside of black Americans, and that culture is different than what would exist inside of non-black Americans. And that there's like a problem with assimilation, right? So there's like kind of like a bare bones, really quick description why that statement is racist. But everything that could be said insofar as why that statement is racist can also be said about your own statement, right? So you're like targeting discrimination towards Indian individuals specifically by assuming that if you go to a grocery store, that Indian individuals would bump into your shoulder and then not say, excuse me. B, you're also making the implication that this is something that other individuals would not do. C, you are then generalizing this targeted discrimination to apply to every single Indian individual. And then D, the cherry on top is that the purpose of this targeted discrimination is to invoke some level of material harm upon Indian individuals, such as like a call for mass deportation, which was obviously implied as this was your justification for mass deportation. So I just gave you 5 points there, A, B, C, and D, which I guess is 4, not 5. Insofar as why what you said was racist, do you want to try to contest my reasons, all 4 of them?
Okay, so I did not say that Indian people have to be deported because they don't have manners. That's not what I said. I said that the example that I gave is that if I go to Costco on a Tuesday and they don't say excuse me and bump into my shoulder, I think it's a good, clear sign that the cultures are clearly different.
Okay, so I've had white people.
Hold on. I let you talk for like 5 minutes,
hold
bud.
on. Wait. I'm interrupting you right now. That's rude, right?
You see how I didn't interrupt you, but you can't hold your pants?
Oh, okay.
You
Wait.
keep going crazy.
So would you say that like me going crazy, being rude, and interrupting you is like a problem in the culture of white people?
No, I think it's you. You just have like low key.
Oh, so you apply it to the individual when it comes to white people, but when it comes to people who are Indian specifically, you apply it as a generalized statement.
No, it's because
to the entire group
Dean
of people.
is one guy I'm talking to.
Okay.
Oh, and each of those people that did it to you at the store are one person.
Unless you've just like bumped shoulders with like I
The
don't
thing
know,
is,
like
like,
1.5
it's
billion
interesting
Indian
because
individuals.
You can't like actually have a conversation that is honest with a person. You have to like call them racist if you disagree with them.
Wait, you specifically brought up as a reason as to why you think immigration is bad is because people who are Indian are not saying
there are
excuse
multiple
are not saying excuse you specifically to you. Well, good, because you're fucking racist, right? So you're literally doing fucked up shit. So why the hell should they show you any appreciation?
And then also, is it just like all of a sudden like wrong to like call out racism? Like you're saying like, oh, you just call everybody racist that you disagree with. Like, no, I can have disagreements with people that aren't rooted in racism. Okay. But the disagreement I have with you is rooted in racism. That's a fact. Are you saying that I shouldn't be able to point that out? Or maybe like your implication is that it's just simply impossible for somebody to have a disagreement with me that's rooted in racism. I don't know. But regardless, I just hate this narrative that, oh, the liberals are so soy, whiny, and wrong because like we actually care about targeted discrimination towards people on the basis of their race or nationality. And we want to point that out as something that's wrong and something that shouldn't be done. And that's what I'm doing to you. I'm just simply pointing out that it's wrong for you to target discrimination at Indian individuals, South Asian individuals, saying that they have a problem with their culture and their culture promotes a lack of, I don't know, civility and it promotes rudeness and bumping into individuals at the grocery store. I just find that to be incredibly racist for kind of the reasons that I gave. Maybe you actually have had an individual at a grocery store bump into you that was Indian. Okay, well, why is your first thought, well, it must be because they're Indian that they did that, right? But when I interrupt you, you know, it's not your first thought as well. He's interrupting me because he's white. I guess that would be like an even.
You see, he keeps
easier
interrupting
way.
and just yapping, but you don't let me talk.
So I'm not letting you talk because I'm already talking. You can talk when I'm done, but I'm just teaching, man. And you're calling it a yap, man. I'm sorry that sometimes we have to critically think and use nuance in these conversations. Would you prefer me to write it out on a piece of polka dot paper with crayons?
Dean, you forgot the pictures.
The thing is, you like characterizing people that you disagree with as racist, and that's just like untrue. Like you don't wait to see when you actually don't try to have.
We gave you specific reasons.
No, Parker, he's cooking.
down, buddy.
Guys, this guy's guy's cooking. He's actually giving the best argument ever. The best argument ever.
I've been incredibly
False.
quiet this entire time.
His argument is wrong. Your argument is you're wrong, Dean.
Talking now,
You're
though,
untrue.
right?
What you're saying is false. So tell me why I'm false by disputing my reasonings. I think that it's racist because you're assuming if an Indian individual bumped into you at the grocery store that they did it because they're Indian, but you don't do the same thing as it relates to behavior from others, such as me interrupting you. You don't make the assumption that I'm interrupting you because I'm white. Explain to me how that's not racist.
You're just literally rude.
I mean, the same way you said that Indian individuals are rude because you've been bumped into in the grocery store by an Indian person. Why didn't you say, therefore, all right, white people are rude and can't assimilate with the culture?
I mean, majority of the time, white people have been here. This is their place. I mean, white and black people, they didn't come.
What do you mean this is their place? What are you talking about? Are you just not acknowledging history of literally white people genociding indigenous Americans?
So tell me how America was founded. Could
and
you tell me?
stealing the land? The genocide of indigenous Americans and the stealing of the land.
Okay, so by who?
By English settlers and
English
Western
settlers.
European settlers.
It took a while for you to get there, but you got there.
Brenda, thank you so much for the
just
$25.
asked me the question.
Thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, Brenda. Shout out to Brenda down below in that chat. Thank you so much for the love. That's incredibly kind, Brenda. Okay, so are you basically just saying that it's okay to target discrimination at Indian individuals because they're immigrants? Like, that has to be the deduction of your claim. Like, obviously, we're going to contest that this is like white people's. Listen to me. Don't interrupt me. Like, obviously, we're going to contest that this is like white people's land. Okay, that's obvious. Parker,
It's white and black people's land. I mean, they've been here for the longest.
Hey, man, do you have self-control?
Dude, you it's so like tough to listen to. You're just yapping on, and then
I want you to show me some self-control. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. So listen, sir, listen to what I'm saying. So listen to what I'm saying. Obviously, we're going to contest that this is white people's land. Obviously, we're going to contest that this is like any specific person's land, unless you were to make the implication that it's indigenous individuals' land. Okay? And we could have that conversation because I think that you're very wrong on that, and it's embarrassing. But I just want to point out that you're basically telling me that it is okay to target discrimination at Indian individuals because you don't think this is their land. Right? That's your argument. Do you understand how insane that is? Like, that is the argument that you're defending. Like, your response to me pointing out that you assume that an Indian individual bumping into you is because they're Indian, but not me being rude to you because I'm white, is because this is not Indian individuals' land. So targeted discrimination is totally okay to, like, people that you don't deem as having a just claim to land in this country. That's insane.
So I have a question. So if you go to India, are you a white guy?
Either respond to what I just said, or I'm going to pass the mic back to Parker to further dispute your claim that this is white individuals.
So I can't ask you a leading question so I can try to prove my point? Was it on the way you want it to be?
Sure, I'm white.
Okay, so if you're a white guy and you go to India and they have a culture that you're not 100% knowledgeable of, and you know what, let's not even say India, let's go Japan. You go to Japan and you are wearing cologne every single day, and you are not aware that to them that is a form of disrespect because very intense smells actually offend them. That is something that they have culturally deemed as disrespectful. But you are not aware of that. Now, is it disrespectful what you are doing, or is it on them to say, oh, you know what? No, it's not that.
So you're just not answering my question. Like, you said that this was going to be a leading question that somehow contends in response to my argument. It's not.
So what is the answer? What is the answer?
Do you remember the question that I asked you?
You see how dude, you're so bad faith, dude.
I'm not bad faith. You're bad faith. You're the one avoiding my question.
I'm asking you a question. So, but you're now willing
you understand,
to
like,
actually.
Yeah, but you understand in asking me your question, you were just intentionally pivoting and deflecting away from.
It's not a pivot. It's a clear leading question that would actually reference you.
At this point, I'm ready to kick you from the live. I mean, Parker, maybe if you have anything else you'd like to talk to him about, feel free. But like, I'm pretty ready to kick you from the live because
Parker,
I was able
to
deduce your argument down to essentially saying that the only reason why you assume an Indian individual bumping into you in the grocery store is because they're Indian, but you wouldn't say the same if I were to cut you off in a conversation. You wouldn't say that's because I'm white, and I asked you like why you have different assumptions. Hey, overnight, I don't think I've been able to make a single statement without your very annoying.
We should play back this whole conversation.
Interrupting me. Do you have the ability to possess a spine? Do you have the ability to not be a weasel?
To possess a spine?
Do you have the ability to not be so annoying?
Parker.
Yeah, call for Parker. I'm going to go to repeat what I said without you interrupting me this time. Please, dear God.
Keep playing your guitar. Parker, can you answer that question?
Oh, you know what? Hey, guess what? Now you get to go back down to the comment section. Boom, get banished. 5 minutes of fame are over. See how that works? Yeah, pull rank. Yeah, try it. Try your best. Tell me to keep playing my guitar. I will keep playing my guitar in peace. Guess what? Now you're irrelevant again. 5 minutes of fame are over. Must suck. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Banned. Let's go to get that last guest, Sam, up in the stream.
In the meantime, everyone, make sure to like the stream. On TikTok, let's get to 5 million likes, everyone. That's kind of fucking nuts. And Laura, thank you for the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much. Get some W's for Laura in the comment section right now for the $50. Thank you so much for good job keeping your cool. Thank you so much, Laura.
Hello?
I really appreciate it.
Hello?
Sam, what's up? Do you support Trump?
No, but can I just like say this really quick? I just want to say thank you guys for what you do. I have
you.
autism, and it's like my family members when I was younger used to kind of make fun of my crash outs when I would talk about politics or whatever, and I just felt like I was really defenseless and everything, and they kind of would just like some of my cousins would just really say some nasty things to me, and this is so stupid, but because I'm 21 now, but it's like now I actually feel like I have something to stand on thanks to your videos and live streams, and I really know that might sound stupid,
Sam,
but it's
It doesn't.
back in like 2021.
I really appreciate that.
Back in 2021 and 2022, I'd see your videos all the time.
Oh, okay, so you know who I am, but yeah, so I back when I was famous or whatever for chalk or whatever, but so I don't know if that's like weird, but it's like I just thank you. That 14-year-old autistic boy who didn't know how to defend himself is very thankful for both of you, and even though TikTok isn't really what I do anymore, I just appreciate you both.
Sam, you're awesome. I hope you have a good rest.
Appreciate
of
you,
your
Sam.
day.
And also I wanted to say my aunt says she actually used to be a diehard Trump fan, and now she really has changed her views thanks to you guys.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's amazing. That's so
awesome.
amazing to
That's so
hear.
cool.
I'm so happy to hear that, Sam. Thank you so much. Seriously, that's
Anyway, thank you
hearing
guys
Stuff like that
so
really
much.
keeps me going.
Anyway, sorry, I sound like I'm getting emotional. I kind of am, but it's just like I don't know. Just if you guys were around 8th grade, that boy would have been very happy.
Sam, I want you to
appreciate you,
have
Sam.
the best rest of your day possible. Thank you so much for popping up. It means the
Oh, thank
absolute
you.
world to me. And
Thank you.
keep
Sorry.
doing you, man.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Shout
I
out
was
to
like,
Sam.
that hits. Literally, like 8-year-old, 8th grade me too. Literally.
Shout out to Sam, guys. Show Sam some love down below in the comment section.
W's for Sam in the comments.
Honestly, I may just end my stream on that good note.
That is a good note to end it on.
I think it is. Are you planning to go live?
Yep, I'm gonna be live right now.
Great. Where are you going?
I'll start on this account, and if it ends up getting any like lag or anything, I'll probably go on my girlfriend's account.
Are you on your main?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Hey, well, first and foremost, for the 8.2 thousand people in the TikTok stream, make sure to hit that follow button on your way out and turn on those post notifications. I do these live streams every day, 7 days a week for 4 hours. I'm on here debating Trump supporters. And it's pretty interesting to watch over time, I guess, because, like the general arguments that we hear from Trump supporters have been changing, as well as it's been a lot harder to find Trump supporters recently. And I think that's really valuable because it shows that, Maga's kind of losing steam, right? As well as everybody watching over on the YouTube stream, make sure to drop a sub if you're new, drop a like on that stream. And if you want to continue to watch some debates, please feel free to raid Mr. Parker down here. He's going to be live on TikTok at Parker Get a Job, live on YouTube at Parker Get a Job as well. And I'm going to go to an end for now. I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, peace and love. Have a good night, everyone. Take care, Parker.
Peace out. Peace out. Have a good night, man.
1 second. There it goes. Bye, guys. Oh, I'm still live on TikTok? Oh! Whoops, I have to hit 2 buttons to end it on TikTok. I didn't even know that. I thought I just had to hit 1 button. Honestly, if I didn't look at my computer, you'd just be watching me doing my thing, scrolling on my For You page.